All right, so September is just right around the corner, and some of us are actually eager to see the new episode to Helluva Boss season 3. The new episode is actually going to be airing on Amazon Prime on September 10th, and even though the show is going to be airing on Amazon Prime, that doesn't necessarily mean it won't air on YouTube. It'll still continue airing on YouTube. However, those with Amazon Prime, they'll be able to gain access to the episode a lot more sooner than you will with YouTube. All right, so the second season of Hello Boss, the episode left us with quite a bit of a big cliffhanger. Stolas loses his title as a Goetia. Most importantly, he loses his daughter Octavia through the whole process. But in the sort of bright side, him and Blitz are getting closer as a couple. On top of that, we get to see Luna become this second form of a hellhound. Not really my favorite design, but it was okay. It was pretty surprising to see. But the main cliffhanger we're all eager to see in the next season or the upcoming season is Millie is pregnant. But what's good news for others, she's actually taking it not too very well, as you can see. So the big question to all of us is, why is Millie depressed about it? All right, so throughout the internet, I've seen three speculations as to why Millie was feeling sad about this news. The first being is that both either Millie or Moxie doesn't want to have kids. The second reason will have to be that because they're imps, they live in poverty, and they can't afford to have a kid, especially the way they're working. But the main, or at least the third reason for me personally, I think makes more sense than the other two, and that is I think Millie cheated on Moxie. Yes, yes, I know. I know it sounds ridiculous considering these two are obviously in love with one another. But I'm not just this is just a theory that could possibly be true, but at the same time, I don't know if it will be. Part of me doesn't want it to be true, but the other part of me thinks I hope it is true because I think it'll just bring more drama into the show. But again, I have my reasons as to why I think this way. All right, so let's start off with the whole neither of them don't want to have kids. With Millie, I say she'll be the easiest one to start off with. As we all see, Millie grew up in a big home. She has two parents. She has three brothers and a sister. She's obviously close with the sister, and even though the parents don't really like Moxie that much, she still loves them regardless. So excuse me. So with Millie, I can see why she would want to have. I don't see her as the one to not wanting to have kids. She grew up in a family, big family. They were obviously happy, so I'm sure one day she would like to have kids of her own or a family of her own. With Moxie, however, I can see why everyone would say Moxie wouldn't be the one who doesn't want to have, or would be the one who doesn't want to have kids. We see Moxie's childhood, and I think it was in season one. How you say it? His mom and dad didn't really see eye to eye. The mom wanted to raise Moxie in one way, however, Crimson wanted to raise Moxie the other way in his Crime Lord way. At one point, we see Crimson actually killed Moxie's mom, so we didn't really see it, but it obviously hinted that Crimson killed the mom. So, anyways, I can see why Moxie wouldn't want to have a son of his own. But at the same time, I feel like Moxie despises his father so much that, he would like to have a son of his own and basically be everything his father was never to him. So I can see, personally, that's why I think, Moxie would like to have a son of his own, but, he's going to treat him a lot better than his father ever did to him. All right, so let's talk about the whole poverty thing. They don't have enough money to raise a kid and their situation. As we see, as it's clear, they're both imps. They're the lowest class of hell residents. and we get a good look at their apartments they're staying or the houses they're living in. Still, I don't think that's a bit. I don't think that's a really good excuse as to why they don't want to have a kid because they're flat out broke. First and foremost, Moxie was able to take Millie to Aussie's in that one episode. It was a fancy restaurant. He made the reservations, and on top of that, they dress nice for the occasion. So they obviously have money to spare, depending how they spend it wisely. And even though Blitz is not really a good boss, he doesn't know how to manage their money as well. I feel like their business is the only business in hell that allows Demon to go up and kill people for their clients they work for. So I feel like in the future that business will pick up eventually, considering they're the only ones on Earth that does it. I know Barbie Wire, Blitzo's sister, she was able to go back and forth through hell, but her business is an entirely different thing compared to what they do. So I feel like money is not really an issue, especially with Moxie, considering he's very more organized, more professional about the finances. So I don't think the money will be the main reason as to why they don't want to have kids. Sure, they're imps in the low class, but I don't think that's gonna stop anyone from having a kid. So, anyways, that's my thought. So there you have it. Those are my personal theories as to why I think Millie might have cheated on Moxie, and why I don't think it could either be the poverty or either one of them doesn't want to have kids. But who knows? I'm looking forward to the new season. Part of me kind of hopes it will be the cheating thing because I think it'll just bring more drama into the show. But regardless, I won't be upset if I'm right or wrong. Hopefully, let's hope I'm wrong. But if I'm not, that'd be pretty cool. I was able to predict the show like that. But anyways, let's hope it's not that. It's either, they can't afford a kid right now, or either Millie, most likely Moxie, doesn't want to have a kid in their life. But, part of me again kind of hopes it will be the cheating thing because I think it'll just bring more drama to the show. If it is the cheating, I kind of have a theory as to who it might be. I don't want to say in this video. I'll probably say it in the next video when we find out what's the real reason as to why Millie was upset about it. If it's not because of the cheating thing, I'll still make a short video as to who I think it is. And I'm pretty sure you guys know who I'm thinking of, but just in case, for my next video, I'll explain as to why I think, she cheated on Moxie with this one person I'm thinking of who could have been. But until then, I'm looking forward to the new season. Definitely will do a live reaction to the first episode. And I'll catch you guys on the next episode. See ya.